5763. Now, your host for Public Pulse, Floyd Whiting.
Good morning and welcome to Public Pulse. Now, the Wyoming Department of Transportation is out there in force and around Sheridan County and the rest of District 4. They're repairing and revamping our roadways. And joining me this morning is WYTDOT Senior Public Information Specialist for District 4, Laura Dallas, and resident engineer Jake Wisnot. Good morning, Laura and Jake.
Good morning.
Morning, Floyd.
It's nice weather out there to get some work done, isn't it?
Beautiful day.
It is.
Jake, regarding the weather, just a real quick question. How much work can you get done on a roadway when it's pouring down? Can you guys continue to work through that?
Very little. It sort of depends on the activity that we're happening to be doing at that time, but generally rain, snow, that type of weather will pretty well shut us down. And so we live for days like this. This is a perfect construction day. Good weather, maybe a little bit on the warm side, but weather doesn't hold us up at all, and we can just do our thing.
I always feel bad for those flaggers standing out there nowadays because the heat coming off of those roadways has just got to be torturous.
Yeah.
I mean, that's got to hurt standing out there. But just make sure you're drinking plenty of water, guys. Now, Laura, you recently held 2 meetings to discuss a very large Main Street project. One was held Tuesday, June 14th. That was from 9 until 10 a.m., and for those who couldn't make it in the morning, you held the other one on Wednesday, June 15th, from 4 until 5 p.m. How was attendance at those?
We had a really pretty good attendance. We probably had 25 or so people that actually signed in, and very just interested in what we were planning on doing and primarily what the closure sequence was going to look like and how it was going to affect their storefront.
Now, do you think a lot of those individuals were just business owners, or was there some common curiosity, citizens out there?
We had several building owners, like landlords, that were representing their block or their building that they have. Several of those people own like an entire block.
Wow.
That was kind of interesting. And then we had some of their tenants that were in attendance as well. And then we did have a few people that are business owners in town, but they don't have any businesses on Main Street. So there are a few of those people showed up just to get some, information. We had a business owner from the North Main project several summers ago show up and just really was a good advocate for us, saying how easy we were to work with, that we were very good at making sure that business access was in play the entire time, that we were good partners, and that it's not going to be fun, but you're going to get through it, and it's going to be worth it in the end. So that was nice to get a little cheerleader show up and support us in what we do. So,
and out there in North Sheridan, was that an overpass, or what do you call that?
We totally redid the whole interchange.
It was beautiful.
Yeah,
it's absolutely
beautiful. So it was the interchange we relocated, and then redid this utilities there, and then a whole new road. So it was a big project.
Now, for those who may not know, can you tell us what WYDOT's plans are with Sheridan's Main Street?
Yes. So right now we are looking to, this project will begin in 2023, the spring of 2023. Projects typically start April 1. So we really won't know what the exact start date is on that until we have a contractor and they put the schedule together for us. So we're hoping is no later than April 1, we'll get going. We'll start there on Dow Street, First and Dow. We have a little bridge repair. We're going to do it first, and then once that's finished, then we'll start with, ripping up that concrete, and then the city's contractor will come in and do the utility work. We're going to do 2 to 3 blocks at a time, no more than 3 blocks at a time when we have closed. And then we're just going to basically leapfrog down Main Street. And so once we get the front block done, then and that's paved, then we'll go to the next block at the end of that and just leapfrog down. Jake, do you have anything else to say with that?
When you're tearing up that street, Jake?
Yep.
What goes into even just the demolition of the old work? Because, I mean, there's utilities underneath there. There's things that have to be shut down. Is like electricity, plumbing, things like that?
Yeah, I don't think we're dealing with any electricity on this one. It's kind of mostly in the side streets, but Yeah, so the existing road is about 8 inches of concrete on top of 6 inches of crushed base. So we would come in there, demo the concrete. They typically remove that with like excavators, load trucks, and haul it out of there. Then we'll pull up the 6 inches of crushed base. As Laura mentioned, the city's going to be doing some utility work, sanitary sewers. We do have a little bit of storm sewer work and some water mains that they're going to be replacing. So at that point, there may be some utility conflicts. The utility companies are working on that right now. They're identifying what conflicts they might have and developing some game plans of how we can keep everybody powered up with power, gas, water throughout the entire time.
Excuse me. So we're looking at trying to put some controls in, some backups, to make sure that you can still use your facility. Now, when it comes to tearing that stuff up, do you guys recycle all that material?
Yeah, almost all of it will be recycled. So some of it will go back, get processed, and we'll convert the concrete that we pull out, and we'll put that back in, crush it. It'll be processed and put back in as the crushed base when we're all done. And we store the excess materials in several yards. It's good products for kind of temporary repairs on roads throughout, WYTDOT system. County and city entities also like to use that stuff from our stockpiles at times too, so we share it with them as well.
Now, how long is this supposed to take in total?
We are scheduled for 2 project years, and a project year is April to October. So we'll go as far into October as we can. A lot of it is weather dependent. And so we'll have it figured out like where we need to end point based on the calendar. And then we'll pick up again the following spring and finish the job out. So hopefully we could be done by end of July of 24.
And when you come to that, I guess you could call it the end of phase 1, we can call it? The end of
we're
the first
referring
project?
to, I can call them a phase. We're calling them sequences right now.
Okay.
Yeah,
Sequence. We come to the end of that. We basically just leave everything in operation. So so there won't be like the old bump on Main Street that everyone knows about. When you replace an old road with a new road, usually they've got that bump between the two.
seam.
Yeah, the seam. There you go. How do we prevent that, Jake?
Yeah, you bet. So kind of as the end of the construction year approaches, we're looking at that weekly, reviewing it with our contractor, kind of trying to determine how far are we going to make it at the end of this first year. Let's get everything buttoned up. Let's get our fresh concrete poured right up against the old concrete. No bump should be left. All traffic control would come down at that point for the winter season, and it would just function as a normal main street throughout the winter season. And then April 1 or whenever the weather is advantageous that next season, we would get back in there and start all over again.
And get the jackhammers out and start up.
That's right.
Now, are we going to have any other meetings regarding this project, Laura?
Yes, we will have lots of meetings.
Good. Okay.
Yeah.
Do we have those scheduled?
Not yet.
Not yet, but
Yeah.
we do have more meetings coming up.
I've talked to a couple businesses downtown and just doing a little pop-up session at some of the coffee houses in town. And I'll just throw out on social media that, hey, I'm going to be at this location on this day at this time if you have any questions about the Main Street project. So I'm kind of coordinating some of those. Until we have an actual schedule, which is going to be later, we'll have one by December 1st. It's really hard to answer a lot of these questions.
Right. Yeah.
So right now it's just going to be kind of hit and miss conversations with folks. And then once we have like legit, like this is how it's going to happen, people, then we can really hit those meetings. And then I'm also going to have weekly update meetings, project meetings throughout the project. ERA Carroll Realty is graciously allowed us to use their conference room, and they're going to be our host for those public meetings that we'll hold weekly. And it's just basically an update meeting. You can stop in between a certain period of time and get information, see where we're at on the schedule, comments, suggestions. So,
Well, that's pretty cool that they're doing that for you.
Yeah.
Giving you a space that you can
Yeah,
hold
it's a
these
perfect
meetings.
location. It's right on the project. So,
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
in the heart of it. So it's great. Yeah.
Now, out of all the questions that you have received, is time? You said you can't answer most of these questions because you don't really have a timetable as of yet. So is that the number one question that you probably get? When, how long, and when done?
Right. Like, this is my store. This is my address. When are you going to be in front of it?
Yeah.
So they can determine, what to expect and maybe do
Yeah,
some
they got plans to
pre-planning.
make too, don't they?
Right.
Yeah.
I do want to say that the Chamber of Commerce and the Downtown Sheridan Association are being really great partners in this with us and helping the business owners downtown look at some new innovative ideas or approaches or suggestions of how to drive traffic downtown, foot traffic primarily. Main Street, the entire Main Street won't be closed. There'll just be portions of it. So people can still access Main Street with their vehicles. It's just going to be those 3 block sections where you're going to have to not be able to park on Main Street. But there's so much great parking in Sheridan, just a block off either west or east of Main Street. So there's plenty of places for individuals to park. We'll have some accommodations for handicap as well. That'll be put into the mix with the traffic plans. So, those 2 organizations are really working hard at helping drive traffic. The tourism department, they've got some great ideas about how they're going to just really encourage tourists to, hey, you still need to pop downtown because there's a lot to offer and a lot to see. So
Absolutely. And I imagine this, by the end of this project, that is just going to be beautiful to look at.
it'll be nice and shiny and smooth.
Yeah. Now, Jake, do you ever find yourself doing that after a big project like this? You just stand hands on hips and go, you know what? That looks great.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. You usually you're already on to the next one, but it is nice to kind of take a moment, reflect back on it, and it's always a good product at the end of the day. And sometimes it takes a little while to get there, but it's nice to reflect on the product and on to the next one.
Because, speaking with engineers and artists and a lot of creative people, I know engineering, it's very formulaic. You run by the numbers.
Yep.
And the numbers never lie. But there's also some creativity within there, isn't there? You find problems, and you got to get creative on how to solve these things.
Yeah, no, you bet. And kind of to echo some comments from our district engineer that he mentioned in some of the public meetings that we had, or in the 2 public meetings earlier. WYTDOT's, our business is building roads, so definitely the Sheridan Main Street is in need of replacement. It's about 50 years old. It's getting to the point where it's more costly to maintain it than it is just to replace. So we've identified that need, that we need to replace it, but at the same time we recognize that it is going to have an impact on the Sheridan community, especially the businesses downtown. And some of that creativity that you mentioned, Floyd, is how do we minimize those impacts as much as possible? So we've kind of come up with the rolling 3 blocks so that the majority of Main Street will be open throughout the project, and we'll just confine the construction to 3 blocks at a time, allowing for a lot of that parking. We're doing minimal work on the sidewalks, only really bringing the corners up to ADA, Americans with Disability Act compliance. The sidewalks are 20-ish years old, so the standards have changed on that ADA stuff. So we are going to be upgrading those on the corners, but the vast majority of the sidewalks won't be touched, so there'll still be pedestrian foot traffic allowed down Main Street, and they can access those businesses that way. So we're definitely getting creative and trying to do everything we can to have as minimal of an impact as possible.
And what a great place to apply that creativity. How do I minimize the impact on my downtown area? Because you're a resident here, right? And Laura, so are you. This is your town too.
Yeah, it affects us as community members too. So,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely. All right. When we return, we're going to continue with the Wyoming Department of Transportation. This is Public Pulse on 930 KROE at 103.9 FM, Sheridan.
This is Eric Jacobson, partner at Eliason Financial. I think we can all agree that living and working in Sheridan, Wyoming is an absolute privilege. At Eliason Financial, we support our community through volunteerism, philanthropy, and making a positive economic impact. To learn more about who we are and what our wealth management advisors can do for you, visit Eliason Financial online or call 307-672-3010. Securities offered through Royal Alliance Associates, Inc., member FINRA, SIPC.
Is it time for a career change? McDonald's restaurants in Sheridan and Buffalo are currently looking to fill shift management positions that pay up to $18 per hour, and you can work today and get paid tomorrow. Improve your life with a new career. Benefits include IRA contributions, health insurance, paid vacations, tuition assistance, flexible scheduling, food discounts, and up to $18 per hour. Apply today in person for a shift management career at McDonald's in Sheridan and Buffalo.
The City of Sheridan Weed and Pest Division would like to announce that mosquito fogging will begin starting the week of June 20th and continue through the mosquito breeding season. Fogging will take place Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday evenings when necessary. For more information to report heavy concentrations of mosquitoes or to request that your home be in a no-spray zone, please call the mosquito hotline at 307-655-8297 or visit the website at sheridanwy.gov.
How would you like to win $500 in Chamber Bucks just in time for Rodeo Week? Chamber Bucks can be used anywhere in Sheridan County or even cash at your bank. Hi, this is Ryan Franklin with ERA Carroll Realty, inviting you to enter the ERA Carroll Realty Summer Sweepstakes. Just go to the contest page on SheridanMedia.com where you can enter daily through July 4th. Winner will be drawn on July 5th. Have a great summer from ERA Carroll Realty. We're about more than just real estate. We're about family, friendships, and community.
Finally, we can get back to normal life in Wyoming. And that means get out and go somewhere, do something, but get the car ready for summer travel after limited use for so long. Midas to the rescue with a complimentary safety inspection, plus discounts on oil change packages and savings on other critical components like up to $120 off tires and $100 off brakes. Stop in and the good folks at Midas will fill you in on all the details. Midas Tire and Auto, East Brundage Lane in Sheridan.
Bookkeeping. Let's face it, it's not one of your favorite things to do. In fact, it's not most people's favorite thing. There you sit, looking at all that paper, taxes, bills, budget. And if you own your own business, you could feel like you're drowning in paperwork. Don't be frustrated. Contact Cloud Peak Accounting. After all, they're the people that actually enjoy that kind of thing. With their easy-to-use website, you can do business with them from the comfort of your own home. Visit cloudpeakcpa.com.
Good morning and welcome back to Public Pulse, brought to you by our friends over there at Eliason Financial. I'm Floyd Whiting and I'm here with WYTDOT Senior Public Information Specialist for District 4, Laura Dallas, and our own resident engineer, Jake Wisnot. We've been discussing the upcoming WYTDOT Main Street project. And, we got a lot of information. There's going to be more meetings coming down the pike, folks. So make sure that you're paying attention. Sheridan Media will make sure that we get that information up to you as we receive it. We've got some other projects going on around the area, though. So I'm going to jump right in. How's the beautification project on the 5th Street corridor going so far?
Jake, you know more about that one.
Man, they look busy over there. Every time I drive past there, those guys are jumping around.
It is going well. They are getting after it down there. They're removing sidewalk primarily, and they're working their way kind of from the train tracks up towards the interstate on the north side of the road, north side of 5th Street there, and things are going well. They're moving right along and coming together. I think we're going to end with a very nice beautification enhancement through that corridor.
And it's such a great place to actually beautify, because if you take that exit, that's one of the first things you see in Sheridan, right down there. Now, Laura, have you received any feedback as of yet on the installation of that stoplight?
Nothing like
official,
but lots of, chit-chatting around, running into people, and everyone just loves it. And no one's complained about it. So
yeah, I can't remember how we decided that needed to be there. Do you?
It was conversations with the city and public input and
So in a way, the people kind of asked for that light down there.
Yeah, no, I think the public was a strong driver in getting that signal installed there, and then kind of between the signal project and the beautification, once those are complete, WYTDOT will be handing over the maintenance side of things to the city, and they'll take over their corridor.
Now, there are more than just a few projects that are happening outside the city of Sheridan this year. Laura, how is this? This is one that you weren't excited to talk about. How's the Ranchester Bridge going?
Ranchester Bridge is coming along.
That's the official statement out of WYTDOT.
That's my official statement. We're getting pretty close to pouring the deck, I guess within probably the next 3 or 4 weeks, they're saying. So that's, it's starting to look like a bridge.
Good.
So we're really, it's coming along.
Jake, what are some of the challenges that you guys have faced out there?
We've had a few, weather over the winter being one of them. Then weather this spring, we had kind of a small material slide. I wouldn't call it a landslide, but kind of a small material slide that we had to take care of. And just kind of in general, things were going a little bit slow, but we seem to be picking up now. Like Laura mentioned, all the girders for the phase 1 are up there. We are planning to pour a deck here in the next month or so, as Laura mentioned. So things are moving along, and I do agree. It's starting to look like a bridge. It's taken a little while to get there, but we're moving along.
Just kind of those situations that are beyond your control, variables.
Yep.
Yep.
There is plenty of variables in the construction world, and you never actually know until you just get in there and start working on things. And kind of as you mentioned with that creativity, that issues are going to pop up on the job, and you got to figure out a way to work around them.
And now Highway 14, what's going on out there?
So 14 up on the mountain, we're going to be starting a mill and overlay. Do we have a date on that one yet for sure?
So it got pushed back in their schedule. The contractor is going to be crushing material up in a pit that's in the National Forest up kind of between Burgess and Antelope Butte there, and the snowpack did not allow them to get in as early as they were anticipating.
Wow.
So they pulled another job ahead, and so we kind of moved back in the contractor's schedule. Last I heard, they do plan to be up there and start kind of crushing aggregate here within the next couple of weeks. And we're probably looking late July, early August before they start milling and paving, and that project would start right at Burgess Junction and then work its way towards Ranchester, and we finish up just the other side of Sibley Lake.
So folks should expect some heavy truck traffic through there as they're moving material around.
Yep. As they're crushing, so everything will stay off the highway. They'll crush and stockpile the material, but once we actually start milling, yeah, you're 100% right, Floyd. The millings will be being hauled away, and then as paving commences, the paving trucks will be hauling our asphalt onto the job, and we'll have flaggers and traffic control and pilot cars as needed, but there will be some delays to be expected.
Now, Laura, I've got some other questions regarding the I-90 Acme interchange, but before I get to that, is this an unusually busy year for WYTDOT, or is this kind of the general year?
It's about an average year.
This is about an average year, because how many projects do you guys have going on for this construction period of the year? Is it 14?
In Sheridan?
Yeah, even just here in our District 4.
In our district, yeah. There's a good dozen or so, probably.
Yeah.
Plus, we have a lot of other projects, like we have chip seals that are just random stretches throughout our district.
Just the things that have got to be done.
Right. And then some signal upgrades and signage. We're putting new signs, replacing signs. Or, of course, there's always the guardrail and our general maintenance activities that we're out doing with the paving ops that are going to be showing up here in the Sheridan and Johnson County area here real quick in a couple weeks. So there's a lot going on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and each year, Sheridan can be pretty light, but Gillette's can be pretty heavy, or Sundance will be heavy, and it just kind of varies where the projects are assigned at.
Now, I don't expect you to know this answer right offhand, but maybe you do. Last year, was it last year? Maybe even 2 years ago. My memory doesn't serve me very well at times. Roadkill getting picked up. There was some problems with maybe we weren't going to have the manpower. Is that a problem this year?
As far as our maintenance folks being able to pick up roadkill?
Yeah. Are we short?
Yeah, we're short manpower, definitely on our maintenance crews.
Really?
Our Sheridan crew is down 4, possibly 5 now. Our Gillette crew is down 8. So, we're shorthanded in the maintenance category. So anyone who's looking for a maintenance job with WYDOT, give us a call. We can put you to work.
Yeah, but some of the duties might not be exactly glorious, but I mean, they absolutely have to be done.
They're necessary.
And it's good work.
Yeah, it's good work. Great benefits, and it's a good place to work for.
Yeah.
But as far as roadkill, it's kind of one of the lower items on the to-do list, unless it's in the roadway and it's causing other traffic issues. It depends on location. Most of them wind up on the side of the road themselves because of the incident, how it unfolds. So, now there is the roadkill app on your phone that you can, if you have the 511 app, and with Game and Fish, you can harvest the roadkill if you so choose. And if it's in the appropriate location and it qualifies, you can, take Bambi home with you if you want to.
Take home the meat.
Not too sure I would.
Instead of just letting it sit there. Yeah.
Exactly.
And there's been a lot of people that I've talked to in the past, based on where I grew up, that used to think, God, why don't they just let us do that? Because there was a lot,
Yeah. And I think Christina with Game and Fish can probably answer this question better than me, but what exactly the number of roadkill harvesting is. And it's really quite impressive.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? I'm going to have to ask her that question the next time she comes in, because that's like a brand new app, but to find out that people are really taking advantage of it, that's
I would say like the first month, there was 30 some people harvested their roadkill.
Holy cow.
So, yeah, it's impressive.
Wow. All right. So I told you I'd ask about it, folks. I-90 near the Acme interchange. What's going on out there?
Jake, you take that one away too.
Sure. So, our contractor got started up there probably about a month ago now. We're actually doing a couple reconstruction areas. So down there right between the Acme interchange and the Tongue River Bridge. Anybody who's traveled that section regularly over the past several years, they'll notice that it's pretty bumpy, pretty rough. So we're actually removing all the pavement, removing some of that base material that we talked about, installing some geofabrics, and we're going to try and get that section of roadway fixed up. Hope to have that done here probably within the next month, and then they'll start repaving that section. So it starts kind of between Ranchester and that Acme interchange and ends on the north end of Sheridan, essentially. So they'll be milling and overlaying that whole section after we get those 2 reconstruction areas fixed up.
Both the east and westbound lanes.
All right.
Yes.
Laura, Jake, thank you both for coming in and keeping us informed on what's going out there on our roadways. I greatly appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thanks for having us.
You bet. Thanks, Floyd.
All right. When we come back, we're going to speak to the Sheridan County Chamber of Commerce. This is Public Pulse on 930 KROE and 103.9 FM, Sheridan.
This is Eric Jacobson, partner at Eliason Financial. I think we can all agree that living and working in Sheridan, Wyoming is an absolute privilege. At Eliason Financial, we support our community through volunteerism, philanthropy, and making a positive economic impact. To learn more about who we are and what our wealth management advisors can do for you, visit Eliason Financial online or call 307-672-3010. Securities offered through Royal Alliance Associates, Inc., member FINRA, SIPC.
What if you had more time to manage your business operations, sell your products, or take a vacation? What if you had someone to pay your bills, handle your payroll, or watch your bottom line? Let the accounting professionals at Harker Mellinger add free time to your schedule by providing a cost-effective bookkeeping service as well as adding useful management reports for your business. Call or visit Harker Mullinger at 1811 South Sheridan Avenue in Sheridan. And remember, the initial consultation is always free.
I'm Michelle Hart from Cody, Wyoming. Last year, my husband Tim was on a wildland fire down in New Mexico, and he was injured parachuting into the fire, and he unfortunately passed away 9 days later. Shortly after he died, I actually went to DC and asked to meet with Liz. We had a very intense and emotional conversation about these issues. Liz was really surprised when I was telling her about the issues of homelessness, pay disparity. She really wanted to do something about that. Those words were followed up with action. I just really enjoyed of getting to work with her and having her supporting Tim's Act in the House and really pushing and putting pressure on legislators to be able to do something to fix these issues that are really critical to the public safety. She's a true fighter on their behalf, and I look forward to continuing to get to work with her until these issues are fully resolved. And I know I have her commitment in doing that.
I'm Liz Cheney, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Liz Cheney for Wyoming.
Hammer Chevrolet is a lot full of quality pre-owned vehicles, Troy Baker.
Bob, the lot changes daily. If you're looking for fuel efficiency, we have a 2017 Infiniti QX30 luxury all-wheel drive that gets 21 in the city and 30 on the highway for $24,495. We also have a 2016 Chevy Trax LT all-wheel drive that gets 24 in the city and 31 on the highway for $19,795. All of our pre-owned vehicles are priced below NADA value. That's how we do business.
Hurry in, the lot changes daily. Hammer Chevrolet, 107 East Alger, online, hammerchevy.com.
You've been thinking about building your dream home. Vista West's the place to be. Hi, it's Jack and Kathleen Wood from Best Real Estate.
You're right, Jack. With 5 to 7 plus acre lots starting at around $250,000, Vista West is just what you're looking for, with less than 3 miles from downtown Sheridan.
You heard her, folks. I'm right.
Wait, what?
Building your luxury dream home with natural landscaping and views of the Bighorns, Vista West is Sheridan, Wyoming's premier executive building site.
Call Jack and Kathleen Wood at 307-763-1249. It's time to live your life the best at Vista West.
And I was right.
Brokered by EXP.
Good morning and welcome back to Public Pulse, brought to you by our friends over there at Eliason Financial. I'm Floyd Whiting. The Sheridan County Chamber of Commerce's Government Affairs Committee will be hosting the candidate forums for the primary election candidates on Monday, June 27th and Tuesday, June 28th at 6 p.m. at the WYO Theater, and all voters are encouraged to attend. And joining me this morning to talk about this and some other upcoming events is the Chief Executive Director of the Sheridan County Chamber of Commerce, Dixie Johnson. Good morning, Dixie.
Good morning, Floyd.
Now, you just came from UCross.
I did, yes. We had our chamber coffee out there this morning. So the Chamber's Business Retention and Expansion Committee, about every third month or so of their meetings, they hold chamber coffee. And so those will take place the fourth Thursday of the month at 8 a.m. And UCross Foundation was gracious enough, wonderful hosts for our chamber coffee. And it was a beautiful drive out and back this morning. It was a little warm on the way back, though, already.
Oh, really? And you know, I love that area out there. I've gone out there a few times to cover other events,
right?
And into the gallery. I've kind of wandered around the area a little bit. What a fantastic place to just go have some coffee with a couple of buddies.
It really is. And so we were actually at the Raymond Plank Center, which is right there at the junction of 1416 highways. And we had Caitlin, Heather, and Vicki from the UCross Foundation that were wonderful hosts. We had probably a couple dozen people that came out. We enjoyed some great roundtable updates, conversation, connection building, networking, and we're able to learn a little bit and have a little bit of a presentation from the UCross Foundation. So they're going to be celebrating their 40th anniversary, I believe, next year. So there's a lot of great things in the works that they'll be, sharing and announcing. It was interesting, they did indicate, they are an artist residency program and one of the top 3, I think, in the country. So it's just a wonderful hidden gem that we have in our area and part of the Sheridan County community.
Now, I just had Laura Dallas from WYTDOT in here with Jake Wisnot. We were talking about the Main Street project.
Right.
What are some of our business owners talking about? What's the conversations there between the business owners, the chamber? What are their concerns, I guess?
I think probably more than anything, their biggest concern is access to their businesses and making sure that they can still operate a profitable business during this this period of time, which we all know it has to happen, and nobody likes it. If you had a choice, would you have your streets torn up and all of that? But I want to give credit to WYDOT. We've been talking with them for, a couple years, knowing that this was happening as part of their STIP, and working together along with the Downtown Sheridan Association. They really are going to try to do everything they can through signage and just being very thoughtful, as they're closing the areas, trying not to close any more than they have to try to keep directional signage, different parking options, those types of things to get people still to the businesses. So again, while nobody really likes it, it's something that has to be done, especially with the city of Sheridan's, aging pipes that have to be replaced, right?
The infrastructure underneath.
Right. And that's one of the things that will probably take a little bit longer in some portions of it. I'm sure they spoke about it. I wasn't able to hear what they were talking about, but my understanding is the north part of it, I guess, of the closure will be a little bit longer just because they have two utilities to replace as opposed to one when you get like the Smith Alley South. And so while it is a 2-year plan and project, hopefully it'll go faster than they expect. And maybe cheaper than they're anticipating. And hopefully the impact on our businesses won't be as severe as people are fearing.
Right.
And, again, I think if we all work together, and we will continue to work on this, work with our businesses, work with the Downtown Sheridan Association, the City of Sheridan, and WYDOT to make sure that we're all doing everything we can to direct people and keep that traffic flowing in and out of businesses on Main Street.
And speaking of communication, we've got an upcoming candidate forum.
We do, 2 of them, yes. And so it's interesting with our primary election date coming up in August. Typically, the Chamber and our Government Affairs Committee historically have held candidate forums, and it's one of the things we do every other year, right? And we never really know how many candidates we're going to have. Some years we have more than others, of course, and this year we've got a pretty good list of candidates for a lot of our contested positions. So what the candidate forums will be 2 nights of candidate forums held at the WYO Theater, Monday the 27th, so this next Monday, and Tuesday the 28th. And we decided to move it up a little bit earlier, even though the primary election isn't until August. We wanted to get this information out so people would have access and be able to make hopefully really informed choices, and also we'll get to the polls. And with absentee voting opening on July 1, we felt it was really important to try to get the information out a little earlier. So that's why we're doing it in June. And with the candidate filing period not ending until May 27th, we had a little bit of a window, but we're really, really pleased. And I want to give credit to my team member, Karen Myers, who is our government affairs liaison, our committee liaison, who really, as soon as we knew, was getting in contact with the candidates so it would they would make sure that it was on their calendar. So Monday night, again, these are for contested positions, and this will be a moderated candidate forum, just to make I don't want anybody to be misinterpret. It's not a debate necessarily. There will be a portion of it, every candidate that is there in a contested race, right? If you're uncontested and you're moving through anyway to the general, we didn't include them just because we have a large pool in the contested races,
you
right?
You get to say whatever you want to say out in the open anyway.
And there will be a lot of opportunity to get to learn about those candidates, including, Sheridan Media. You guys do a great job of getting the candidates in here, visiting with them, interviewing them, and trying to get to know what their platforms are about.
Through this primary first. I can't fit that many people in the studio.
Right. So Monday night, starting at 6 p.m. at the WYO Theater, and this is open to the public, and we really do encourage people to come and listen and take their notes and, and start, kind of determining where they're going to check the box.
Formulating your choice. Yeah.
Right. So we will have on Monday, we're planning to have, and this, of course, we understand sometimes schedules change or something happens and people can't make it. But right now, we have confirmation from these candidates. Are you good if I read those?
Go for it, please.
So Clerk of District Court will have Renee Botten and Rachel Borgelli. And please forgive me if I butcher anybody's names. I'll try not to. County Coroner candidates Thomas Bennett and Robert Byrd. County Treasurer candidates Katie Arras and Kevin Harding. We also anticipate we'll have 3 of the 4 candidates for County Sheriff. We're anticipating Levi Dominguez, Brandon Leonard Masters, and Roger Miller will be in attendance. Zach McLean wasn't able to be there, has indicated he's not able to be there. And then County Commissioners candidates, I believe we have all of them planning to attend, and we'll get to hear from them. Michael Arzi, Dennis Fox, Christy Burgess Haswell, Brian Helfrich, Holly Jennings, Nick Siddle, Jason Sheffs, and Alan J. Thompson. And then also rounding out the evening, the Sheridan City Council member candidates will have all but one. We did have one, I believe, that withdrew, and that was Jacob Martin, right?
Yep, he did withdraw.
I think he'll still end up being, his name will be on the ballot. So I know the elections office will have to get some information out about that. However, we anticipate Clint Beaver, Lynette Catania, Dustin Corin, Neil Fancher, Aaron Linden, Greg Lumen, Andrew Patzig, Terry Weitzel, and Jack Wood will all be joining us. Unfortunately, Troy Cochran had another obligation, so he won't be able to be there. But this is a really, really strong group of candidates, going to be a lot of information. So we'll open it up with a 2-minute intro. Each of them will have up to 2 minutes to give an intro. And then after a number of questions asked by our moderator, and they'll have a certain amount of time to answer those, and each one will get a chance to answer the same question. Then they'll each have a 2-minute closing. So it'll take a few hours, and I anticipate that it will be could be a little bit long, if you will. So encourage people to grab a bottle of water there at the WYO Theater or whatever and come and again, but please come. We also will be live streaming it. Provided that our technology, there isn't any glitch, you always want to do these things,
machine.
Right? We're planning to live stream it on the Chamber's YouTube channel, and then within about 24 hours, we should have that recording available. So if somebody isn't able to make it in person, we will continue to get the information out. It'll be on our website, and we'll send some additional media notifications out to you so you can hopefully share that as well.
Absolutely.
So that's Monday night. And Tuesday night, of course, state positions, right? So we anticipate the following candidates for the governor's position will be there. Brent Bine, Mark Gordon, Teresa Livingston, Rex Rammel, and Rex Wild. We did hear, or I don't think we've heard from James Scott Quick that he's able to attend. And then also the Secretary of State candidates, Mark Armstrong, Dan Dockstader, Chuck Gray, and Tara Nethercott will be in attendance. State Treasurer candidate Kurt Meyer, but Bill Gallup has indicated he's not able to attend. So we'll hear from State Treasurer Kurt Meyer. And then Superintendent of Public Instruction, we have all but one that have confirmed. Megan Degenfelder, Thomas Kelly, Sergio Maldonado, Brian Schrader, and Jennifer Zerba. Robert White has indicated he won't be able to be there. And then to round out our legislative delegates, we will have State Senate District 21, Bo Beitman and Mark Hansen in attendance. State Representative District 29, Gary Miller, Ken Pendergraft, and Martha Wright in attendance. And Representative District 40, Barry Crago and Richard Tass have indicated they'd be there. And then also District 51, Brian Miller and Cyrus Western. So a good, strong group of candidates, contested positions, and our Government Affairs Committee is working really hard to finalize some really good questions that will help provide that information that voters hopefully are looking for.
Now, when it comes to formulating these questions, do you ever accept those from the community? Is that how we do this?
Yes, and in the past, things have changed and morphed just a little bit. So years ago, we would have an opportunity for people to come and write their questions down on cards and submit it to question evaluators. With technology and getting the word out ahead of time, and that's part of the reason why I'm so fortunate to be on your show today, we want to let the public know that they can submit questions for consideration to the Chamber in advance. So for Monday's candidate forum, if they have questions that they would like our Government Affairs Committee to consider, if they can get them to us by noon on Monday, that would be great. We have a group that'll be working on formulating those final questions. And then for that night's candidate forum, and then likewise on Tuesday by noon for Tuesday nights. Now, a couple of things just to remind people. We don't ask specific questions to individual candidates. Like, hey, Floyd, why did you vote this way? Or what are you thinking about doing that's directed to one candidate? We just unfortunately don't have the time. And our purpose really with the candidate forums is to get the information out there, to be that conduit. That's what our committee wants to do, be that conduit to help people get to the polls and make informed choices, right? And so we have limited time, a lot of candidates, so we really do have to have some of those questions already identified in advance of the candidate forums. Now, there is something, we did talk about the idea that if somebody does come and they have a question for a candidate, many of the candidates will stay around afterwards, and so they could talk to them outside of the WYO Theater. And or if they want to submit them to us, we'd be happy to get those to the candidates, and they can contact that person directly.
So maybe put a phone number or an email address at the bottom of the question so they can be contacted by the candidates.
Right. And we will have some of those index cards and some of our committee members, volunteers helping us throughout. Now, if there is a reason that we have to pivot and switch a question or something, we will have 2 people sitting up on the stage in addition to our moderator, 2 people that will be, if we have to make any changes to any of those questions, we'll be there as well.
All right. Now, real quick, that was a great breakdown, by the way. You did a fantastic job.
It's
a lot to get out there really fast.
And, but we take it really, really seriously. This is really important.
Absolutely.
It's important to our chamber. It's important to our government affairs, but it's important to the community. And again, the chamber, as a catalyst for business prosperity and a champion for a stronger community, we don't wear just one hat. We wear two hats, and we want our community to be the strongest. We want to make sure that people get to the polls. And I was just visiting with Gail Simmons this morning at our chamber coffee, and she indicated at the last election, there were about 30% of the voters that were eligible actually voted in the primary, whereas upwards of 60 voted in the general. However, many of the seats or the positions were already decided in the primary. So getting more people out to the polls in the primary is really important. We really encourage people to take a little bit of time, get to know your candidates, and then be able to make those choices.
Absolutely. And if you've got a question, I can tell you that the majority of these individuals, or a lot of these individuals who actually already hold the seats, during my conversations with them, they're pretty gracious when it comes to, I'm going to try and get that answered for you. I'm going to do my best to get back to you on that. I mean, these are, this isn't the federal government that we're dealing with. This is our local government. These are our friends and neighbors. These are fellow community members.
Absolutely. And they're the ones that are representing you. And so it's important. And also the ones that will be moving our community and our state forward.
As we go forward. All right, Dixie, thank you so much for coming in and making sure that this information gets out.
Thank you, and we'll see you next month.
All right, you've been listening to Public Pulse on 930 KROE and 103.9 FM. Sheridan.